argue that northern San Diego County isn't one of the finest places in America to live and work. For some, however, while their job is in North County, they can't afford to live here. Our story about the housing crisis and some of the approaches being taken to address it begins in the early morning hours in the city of Menifee, about 50 miles to the north.
It just doesn't make any sense that cities aren't willing to have affordable housing, to keep people living and working in the same areas.
With the rising cost of new homes in San Diego's North County, Seth and his family were forced to relocate to Menifee, California.
I don't spend my hard-earned money in the city where I'm working. I'm going to do that when I get home.
In short, a housing crisis means that there's more demand than there is housing, whether it's resale or new housing. And housing includes both for rent as well as for sale, condos and homes.
It's not easy living in one of the nicest counties in America, where the housing prices are off the charts. For many, living and working in the same city isn't an option.
The point is that there's a supply and demand. If there's a limited supply, the price goes higher. And at the moment, that's what we're doing to ourselves. Throughout San Diego County, we are limiting the supply unnaturally because every project requires a huge amount of entitlement effort, and every neighbor can object.
The annual gap, by some measures, between what we need to build and what we are building is in the thousands of homes.
Each year, the County of San Diego and the surrounding cities are targeted to produce about 15,000 permits per year. Last year, they permitted just under 10,000 units.
This lack of affordable housing is an issue that both attached and detached housing developers, Rita and Gary, can agree upon.
We're not building enough homes. Free up the amount that we can build, and the builders will solve, to a large degree, will solve the affordability issue.
The housing crisis North County faces is more than just a lack of housing. It represents a lengthy commute and a lack of time spent with family.
There's really a huge cost on the quality of life for our employees when they're forced to commute outside of our region in order to work in San Diego.
Adding housing has never been easy in San Diego County, but North County has projects that are adding to the supply.
We have something called the Innovate 78 Collaborative, and that's a collaborative effort with Escondido, San Marcos, Vista, Carlsbad, and Oceanside. If a company locates in Carlsbad and they need a wide variety of employees, those employees are going to live everywhere along the corridor.
In addition to Innovate 78, Newland Sierra, a San Diego-based housing project, is moving forward with plans to create 2,135 affordable housing units. Located in San Marcos, developers hope the units will bring families together in all stages of life.
We've proposed Newland Sierra here in San Diego, North County, to just barely scratch the surface on that deficit of housing with 2,135 residential units in a master plan community.
We have an opportunity to create a place that you can come here, park your car on a Friday night if you worked out of the area, and not have to leave until Monday morning. So you'll be able to live, work, entertain yourself, take your friends out, meet your friends, take your kids to a park, all within a small area.
The housing crisis North County faces is one that impacts the entire community, not just select demographics. While a variety of solutions are being tested, the numerous factors make it difficult to predict the future of North County's housing crisis.
Our next story is about startups. These companies are designed for transformative growth and scalability. Startups are critical to whether an economy makes it or struggles. A startup culture is taking hold in North County, and in this segment, we want to explore what is working, what could be improved, and whether North County will give us the next Uber, Facebook, or Twitter. We begin by talking with Claude Jones, who's been a true servant leader and taking on responsibility for building up the community.
I came from a very abusive sort of background, and I was told that I really couldn't be successful, didn't really have the support system, and I didn't have any opportunities. Like a lot of the opportunities that are sort of handed to individuals, I just didn't have that. And so I had to really fight to kind of get what I needed in life. And that's why I really believe that, you have to create your own opportunities to be successful. So if you translate that to a startup culture, things aren't given to you. You really have to kind of fight, create something from nothing in order to be successful.
Startups are a critical component of many regions' economies because they tend to scale up very fast, typically pay high wages, and bring new dollars into a region to help fuel economic growth. One of North County's challenges is that some of our startup successes are not well known. Neil Bloom, a highly respected entrepreneur, is looking to change that.
I've done a few of my own startups and found that San Diego is kind of a hidden gem. The whole region, we're really good at building companies, but we're not necessarily as good at promoting and talking about everything we're doing to the community. So kind of took it upon myself to start a media company to focus on the promotion of San Diego technology, biotech, tech, kind of all things that are innovation. So we have a blog called Fresh Brewed Tech. We have a podcast, the Tacos and Tech podcast, and we have an email newsletter that covers news around the San Diego tech community.
Building an economy that is conducive to startups doesn't just happen. More often, it's creating an ecosystem where various elements work together.
One of the things that I think makes a region startup friendly, three things come to mind. Number one, you have to have technical challenges. And so what I mean by technical challenges is there something that's enticing enough to get someone's innovative thought process going? Secondly, is the talent pool there? You know, making sure that, you know, with companies coming into this environment, can they find the talent to help solve those technical challenges? And third is just sort of the quality of life, the lifestyle. Can you afford to live here? You know, are there things that you can actually do that want to kind of keep you here? You know, can you see your family growing and expanding in this environment? And I really feel that, you know, San Diego and North County in general have those ingredients.
Many are leaning into the idea of nurturing this ecosystem. Kirsten Riley, the project manager for Innovate 78, explains.
There's so much being done in San Diego right now in regard to startups. There are so many different initiatives happening right now. If anybody is interested in helping themselves or helping another business, get involved. There's so much going on and so many welcoming people.
Another major project to come out of San Diego recently is Startup 78. This is a collaborative effort that will work to keep all of San Diego County on the forefront of startups.
Startup 78 is the partnership with Innovate 78 and San Diego Regional EDC to unite and amplify the startup activity happening along the 78 corridor. So what we found was there was so much startup help downtown, Torrey Pines, UTC, but that same help and startup resources were not available in North County. So Startup 78, the purpose of it is to get those resources up in North County so those who are working with startup businesses and working for startup businesses can have access to those same resources without having to drive all the way downtown.
The fact that we've got some really interesting communities, business communities like brewing, distilling, agriculture. These are areas that actually have a place in the tech world and the innovation space. And so I think that's going to be something for us to lean on in this community to differentiate and not just build software for the sake of software, but build companies that can impact businesses that are already doing well here, that are already well established. So I look forward to seeing that collaboration in North County.
And the values and practices of startups can and are being adopted here in North County by some of the best known companies in the world. With great business leaders like Mr. Neil Bloom, Mr. Claude Jones, and Mrs. Kirsten Riley, and many others, North County will shine like a star in the world of startups.
Successful economies are inclusive. They create pathways to fulfilling careers and middle-class wages for as many of their citizens as possible. Our third story looks at an innovative public-private partnership that is training individuals for careers in close partnership with leading North County companies.
Our community colleges are really the place where that middle-skilled individual can come and expect to find the training they need for tomorrow's jobs.
Linda helps run TCI, the Technical Career Institute at MiraCosta College. At TCI, the staff understand that in order to combat this challenge here in North County, they needed to adapt and be unique.
Our programs are anywhere from 200 to 600 hours long, and they're accelerated so that somebody can do any of those programs in just one semester.
It's estimated that 60% of North County citizens do not have a bachelor's degree. Innovation, technology, and the rapid pace of change are all increasing the demand for middle-skill workers in North County.
We have a lot of different programs because the needs of our workforce in San Diego demand a new talent pipeline that is ready to walk into jobs and be ready to advance future technology and be up to date.
A critical reason for TCI's success is in large part due to a grant from the U.S. Department of Labor, the America's Promise Grant, which allowed Maricosa to provide these programs at a very affordable cost.
So now, because we have a grant, our students are able to attend our programs. For example, a 6,000-hour course for $350. It went down from $7,000 to $350. Anyone can afford that.
TCI trains students for the jobs of tomorrow. They have been very successful in attracting students who are eager to train for these high-demand occupations.
I'm currently attending the engineering technician program here at TCI.
Hozar embraces a more hands-on approach by tackling problems that are exactly like those faced by workers in the private sector.
Personally, my favorite thing is learning how to make circuit boards that are, let's say, on computers. Instead of just looking at one and lecturing us about each component, we are actually making them. And even if it's not correct, it's still teaching us the fundamentals of how to make one. And then going into the real world, you'll know what you're doing.
Another TCI program focuses on the operation and maintenance of unmanned vehicles, including those that take to the air and operate underwater.
I want to be in and around the marine environment, around the ocean, possibly doing surveys or any sort of exploration. I'm also taking some GIS classes as a supplement, and those classes can definitely be combined with drone technology, and that'll be something I'm looking forward to doing.
Nolan already has his BA, as do 40% of North County's residents. TCI is helping him upskill and combine his academic degree with practical hands-on skills.
My background is in marine biology, and I got this flyer in the mail for TCI advertising the drone ROV program, and immediately struck me as something I wanted to get into, something I wanted to learn more about.
We find that our percentage of students who go right into employment is extremely high, and our success rate is really astonishing.
TCI offers an affordable education that prepares students for the high-demand jobs of the future.
This is unique.